96 Chevy Eddie, cooler filled heavy with a little something stronger than your granddaddy's water. Got the sunshine beaming off a rope swing, swinging off them tall pine trees. Pretty girls in bikinis be floating on the water, got the days feeling longer. Take a sip, take a dip, here's a staying young. Here's a late night bonfires and shooting our guns. Ain't got much but some money in the bank, little gas in the tank. The good Lord to thank for a small town summer. We having a small town summer. ID may be fake.
Hey, what is up everybody? Thank you guys so much for tuning into the video. My name is Owen Doyle. I hope you guys really enjoyed that short music video that I put together for a friend for his new song that came out last week. That piece was for a promotional bit for Instagram and TikTok, just to generate some more listeners through the social media apps. So if you want to go listen to that song, it's the first link in the description. So before I hop on the computer, break the frames down, and go over the gear, I just want to say make sure you guys subscribe, hit the like button, and turn on post notifications. That way you can stay up to date when I come out with new videos. Now let's go over gear. Alright, so for gear, I use the Sony FX6 with a 35mm Sigma lens, all shot at f1.4, and I had a quarter ND turned on internally with the FX6. So for white balance, I shot everything at 3400 Kelvin, and that's because the fire sits around 2700, and then I had my key light at 2700 Kelvin, and then my backlight, which is kind of like a moonlight look, was set to 5600 Kelvin, just to have a little separation between the background and the fire and my subject. Alright, so now I'm going to go over the setup and give you some reasons why I shot it and made it look a certain way. So let's hop on the computer and I'll do that. Alright, so now I'm going to go over two shots. Two of them are in the video, and that's just the wide and close that I switched between. And then another one didn't make the cut, but I still want to just show it and explain why I didn't put it in there. So let's jump right into it. Alright, so this wide shot here gives us a general idea of what we're working with. So as you can see, the tube light is lighting up the background, and that's at 5600 Kelvin, as I mentioned earlier. The fire sitting around 2700, and then I have an aperture 300x over here as my key light bouncing in, and that is also at 2700. And as you can see, I'm shooting into the shadow side of the face here. Not so much on this one because his head is turned looking this way at the moment, but there's a smooth roll off. And then if I just jump into the close quick, you can see that it just has a nice wrap around his face and gives that little triangle right here that I'm always looking for. But if we hop back into the wide, we can see this is just our general setup. As you can see here, the tube light is lighting up his hat a little bit in the back here to kind of pop him off of the rest of this orange warm glow here. If we look at this picture I took, you can see the setup here. So we have the tube light lighting up our background here. We have the aperture 300x right here, sending in some light as our key to brighten up his face a little bit. And then we have the fire right here, and that is right at the edge of the frame here. And then we have the FX6 here, just shooting into the shadow side of his face. Have the Rode NTG3 here, just running off into absolutely nowhere, just to make it look like he's singing into the microphone. And then we just link up his voice with the actual audio track. I just kept these scenes very simple, didn't try to do any crazy effects. I just wanted to really focus on the vocals and not so much like transitions and weird camera movements. So everything was just locked off on a tripod. There's some really good separation going on with this scene here. So you can see the tube light lights up right here on the back of his hat and shirt to really pull him off of all this warm glow coming from the fire here. And it creates a nice teal and orange look in camera. So that way when I go into the grade, I really don't have to push and pull colors too much because it's already done for me up front. But it's a very subtle teal and orange look. It's nothing too crazy. It's not like your Hollywood blockbuster, but teal and orange is created because the moonlight and the fire. All right, so if I didn't have this tube light on in the background, this would all just be black. So like, as you can see over here, the tube light doesn't really light this up. so it just kind of falls off and just goes to black. But since the tube light lights this up, it gives the image some depth, like because it shapes these bushes, and you can just see a little bit more into the background of this image. So that's the reason why I put the tube light boomed up overhead. So the reason why this shot here didn't make the cut is because I feel like it was just kind of out of place. It didn't really make sense with the bonfire shoot and then you switch to a shot at the river. I just felt like it was a little too much, so I just wanted to keep it simple and just switch between wide and close. And I feel like that was the right decision, just because this one is just a completely different environment. I mean, if we were going for a full music video, that's a different story. But since we just did like a 30-second cut, I just felt like it was too much in there. All right, so that's all I have for these scenes here. If you guys have any questions, put them down in the comments. I'll be sure to get to them. That's all I got. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will catch you guys on next week's video.